So I'm starting this over again. I'm probably going to edit this part out. That uh, Anyway, so if you're just joining me, my name is Montague Reynolds, and this is the Solano Center for Human Flourishing. It's an imagined approach to philosophical reasoning and critical thinking and things like that. Discussions on philosophical reasoning and critical thinking and things like that. And what we are is an organization that hopes to use MMOs, open sims and things like that to encourage reflective conversations, reflective conversations where we reflect on concepts and meanings of terms and things like that, just basic philosophy. um, I don't know, can this guy hear me? Is that what's going on? Let's take a look at this. Oops, that's not what I want. I need to get a larger what is it called, memory card. Um, yeah, I've got 16 gigabytes now, uh, computer memory. I think I'd like to get like 32 or something like that, and that will make some of the experiences that I have in this game better. I wish I. Is this guy sing? Oh, oh, this has never worked for me. Uh oh, better get off. Barely made it. Okay, so welcome. Like I said, we're the Solano Center for Human Flourishing. In a couple of videos ago, we were talking about different notions of love, or different um, theories of love, like what love is, and we're trying to explain it. And then in the most recent video, I I stepped back a little bit, and I gave some reasons why I thought using Star Citizen to talk about love would be a good idea. And the idea starts with this concept that using fiction can be a useful tool for teaching us about significant concepts such as love. And in that video, I talked about John Gilmore's book, Apt Imagining, and I explained that he's giving a theory of imagination, to explain why some of our emotions in the context of consuming a given fiction, like a movie or music or a video game or something like that, why our emotions in that context don't always correlate with the emotions we would have in a similar context in the real world. So, for instance, if we witnessed a murder when consuming Pulp Fiction, for instance, we might laugh because it's funny. But if we were to witness a similar murder in real life, we probably would not laugh. So that's the idea. So here I'm going to kind of talk about some of his starting principles for that view, right? And so he's going to call it discontinuity versus continuity, and he's going to say that the idea is that there's a difference between um, the emotions we feel because a author or an artist or something like that, or a game developer, uh, want us to feel that motion versus those emotions that we have in real life. And so we're gonna look at some, first we'll look at some theories of mind, really briefly, and then we'll look at a theory of mind in the context of emotions that we feel, right? um, Imagined emotions, I guess you could say. So John Gilmore says, John Gilmore points out that, yeah, the continuity thesis holds that an emotion is justified when experienced in response to an object, event, person, state of affairs. In a fiction, if and only if the emotion is justified in response to an analogous object. So, if laughter or if happiness or joy is is the right emotion we should experience in regards to a murder in real life. Let's say, for instance, we were to witness the death of Hitler. That might be a moment for rejoicing, perhaps. I'm not sure, but I think that's a good case to make, right? And so, if we're watching a movie about Hitler and we see Hitler die in an explosion or something like that, we would experience the same emotion. So, uh, emotions that we experience or have in the context of a fiction are the right emotion if they're the same emotion we would have in a context of real life. And but John Gilmore is going to defend what he calls the discontinuity thesis, and that says the right emotion is the one the artist intends for us to have. Now, I think we can briefly talk about some example, but I already did that, so there's no point. Now, so what are we talking about here? So he's going to start off the defense of this view with some standard frameworks in philosophy of mind, notably a cognitive theory of the imagination, or what he calls the cognitive theory of the imagination. So, according to the cognitive theory of imagination, there are different reasons why a given imagining might be apt, or why we might have a given imagining. So imagine if you're a child and you're playing with your friends and you each pick up a stick and you start swinging them at each other. Then you're going to imagine that perhaps you are a knight or an Arabian I don't know, a pirate or something like that, fighting either for the hand of the lovely princess or prince, or you are something else, right? And so he's going to say that we can disambiguate the imaginings we have because each are type identified in the same way that other mental states are. And so when we look at mental states, we basically understand um, the concept of a mental state in regards to the function that that mental state enables us to, or is important for, right, is responsible for. So when we think of desire, desire is a mental state that is important because it helps us to understand maybe what we need, or what we'd like to have, or perhaps what would be good for us, like if we desire the love of our parents, or if we desire a new car or a new job or any job, right? Then we're going to say that the function of desire is to inform us of those things we need or want or whatever, or things we need. And beliefs are mental states that help us to appreciate the world for what it is. And so belief is like a mind to world relationship, that it conforms our mind to facts about the world. Desire conforms our mind to facts about us, or it conforms the world to facts about us, right? And then imaginings. This is going to be a relationship between our minds and how the world could be. So, counterfactual claims about the world. So, if we see a red rock, we could imagine that rock being blue. And then we might desire that the rock be blue, and then our beliefs might be something like, well, if I put blue paint on the rock, then the rock will be blue, and I can conform the rock to my desires about the world, right? And so that's how these things all work together. So cognitive theory of imagination. So mental states, he's going to say states are typically causally connected to various causes, beliefs, desires, and perceptions. So our mental states are the cause of various things, right? And so we might perceive a rock to be blue and have a mental state of the rock being blue. We might perceive the rock to be blue and have a mental state of desire that the rock be red. We might perceive the rock being blue and imagine what the rock would be like, or have a mental state of imagining about what the rock would look like if it were red. Okay, so that's, yeah. I think, yeah, like I said, this is a super short video. Just wanted to talk about this cognitive imagining in literary fictions, and there's a lot more that he goes into, and I can talk about those more, or I will talk about those more about that in another video when I have more time. For now, we're just going to kind of engage our imagining and look out at the beautiful atmosphere of Crusader. Okay, right.